So today I want to take you out to the garage. There are some people here from Garage Floors One Day. So here's a look at our old garage, kind of the before images, which you'll see kind of an old brown, it's all stained and a lot of the paint is coming up. So these guys are going to remove the old garage floor and they're going to replace it with their epoxy resin with the flakes in it that you've probably seen before. And I'll show you the specific flakes that we chose. It's called Bulldog Newport, color of gray, white, blue. We also chose to add a hint of the sparkles that you've probably seen. So what do we got going on today?
Well, today we're going to grind the existing coating off of your floor all the way out to the edge, and we're going to bring the product out to the edge of the door so you can't see it from outside, but inside it'll look like a brand new garage. We're going to coat the stem walls, put the base coat down, come back and do the clear coat on the whole floor.
And this is so it's an epoxy. How's the process work?
So part A, part B. Part A is bigger, it's a 2-to-1 ratio. Mix the B in, and then it takes like an hour or so to dry fully with the chips in it.
Oh wow.
Whatever chips don't stick inside the epoxy, we scrape and remove, clean it up, and then same thing with the top coats from part A, part B, mix those, apply it over the whole floor, and then it hardens after a few days completely. And in 24 hours you can walk on it, and in 3 days you can park on it and live on it.
Sweet, looking forward to this transformation here.
Can't wait for you to see it.
Here's another quick look at the before. So the first step, they take this large machine that will sand off the old garage flooring. It's like an orbital sander, but huge. Next, he's going to go through with a smaller handheld sander to get around all of the edges. Then they vacuum up the dust while also prepping and mixing the epoxy. So they first do the trim work or the footing around the entire garage. He's going to explain how the chips will adhere to the epoxy.
Once it gets hot, it's going to start to harden, and whatever's stuck onto that is going to hold to it. So once that's held to it, then you put the clear coat onto it, and that solidifies everything and bonds that together.
Now obviously he has this down to a science. He applies the epoxy and then spreads on the flakes. Timing is critical because you have to put the chips down before the epoxy dries. More vacuuming to make sure no dust, and these unique shoes that they wear, which he will explain. Now, what's the next stage?
We're going to be mixing the part A and part B and dropping the floor. So these keep us from walking in the actual epoxy. Similar to like golfing shoes, they just help us stay above the epoxy so we're not walking in it. Well, we're mixing our part A and part B of epoxy, and then we're going to be coating the floor.
They have this with a little gray paint pigment in the base layer to give it some of this color. He's spreading the epoxy evenly on the floor. They will first use this large metal tool, kind of like a squeegee. After it's pretty evenly spread with the squeegee, they're going to go over the whole thing with this large paint roller to get it perfectly even. Next, the fun part. They throw out the flakes all over the floor. They will use a lot more than necessary because you can just scoop up the excess, as we'll see later. It's better to go with too much rather than too little. What's next?
So we're just gonna wait for the epoxy to dry with the flakes into it. Whatever flakes don't stick into the epoxy, scrape right off. And then it'll be nice and clean, no excess, and then we can put a nice clean top coat over it without any, flakes clumping up.
It's been about an hour, hour and a half. The epoxy is now cured, so they're going to go through with their tools to take off any of the excess flakes that didn't stick to the epoxy. Like I said, there are a ton of excess flakes, but they can simply reuse this on future projects. He's going to mix up another large bucket of epoxy, first the resin, and then the hardener. Then he has to mix it up with this drill for a couple of minutes. Interestingly, they use their own in-house epoxy called Bulldog Epoxy. He then applies it to the footer area of the garage. And mixes a bigger batch of epoxy for the main part of the flooring. So this is that clear coat he mentioned earlier, which is gonna set in all of those flakes. Even though the flakes are already in the bottom layer, it's gonna have that sandwich effect and be the top layer to really protect the floor and to cure in those flakes. Again, with the large metal squeegee, he's gonna spread it evenly. And for the final step, he's gonna take that paint roller again, and he goes over the entire floor to get it even. Now, just a quick final inspection to make sure there's no dust or bugs. Again, here's the before, and here's the after. Awesome job by the guys at Garage Floors One Day. So there you have it.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So what are the rules after the fact?
Well, wait 24 hours
Okay.
to walk on it. Wait 3 days to park or bring any heavy objects on it.
Awesome. Thank you guys for your help.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. It's already close to 9 p.m. So I got to get this video out now before midnight. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.